It is one of the tragedies, I would call them, when the plaza that was original was destroyed.
And we cannot do anything was changing the design of our public plaza.
It was so sad because I considered it the soul of Silay.
We have a very beautiful plaza. It was just, daw ara ka sa Europe. Oo, and then there are benches with lion's head.
With 2 fountains, then 1 grandstand. Then on the right side, there's the bronze statue of Jose Rizal, which is it's now in the standing there in the Civic Center.
There are brass ducks that we sit on, and I hope those memories will be cherished by me forever.
There was even a worse threat, I would say, because what happened was, the next thing we knew was the plan of the government to widen the roads.
Because that was the order from Malacanang to widen the street. And there were only plans. El Ijal building was to be divided into 2.
During that time, when they were campaigning a lot against the road widening, the one who headed it was really, I can remember, Leti Montelibano, Lacson Montelibano. She would shout there along the highway together with Ruska and the others, and they were really campaigning against the road widening. Mon was with them.
He told the governor, said, "We fought for you when you ran for elections. Now you help us." And then later on, there was a conversation about, I was asking for diversion road. She stood up and she volunteered, said, "I'm offering my lot for the diversion road." That's how important the house is to her.
Thanks to all these brave, courageous people and their unending pleas, and also thanks to the government which listened. These old homes have been preserved.
Because the politicians will be going, I mean, how long they stay and they will be going, but they'll be there for the rest of their life. Their children, their children's children, what will be left there? They have to really stand firm for what they believe in.
Very good friends came up and volunteered to take care of the house, and that was really a very big help. So on our part, the little that we could contribute was to offer the house, to open it up so that it could be a venue for housing all these things, the artifacts that remind us of a time past.
There's no reason why they should not be open so that people from the outside will see how Silay was a long time ago and how nice it is here. The old houses are still there. Why not show it to so many people?
So I think it's a good idea to preserve this as much as possible.
I was with my father, our mother, and sisters, and I was here with our cousins, Louie and Babe Landoni, and also the Ladridos. we lived here. We had a lot of memories of this house because early in the morning, when we wake up, we would look out that window there and see the fish coming in and the people coming in with their hats, remove their hats and fill them with fish and just leave without paying at all. And we could see that every day when you would wake up and look down. It's good to remember what our grandparents did, what they put up in this house, how they started in their agriculture, which up to now has been supporting our family.
I think it's important for Silay to preserve its heritage because things are changing so fast and people tend to forget. And so it's good for us to have a reminder of what we are and what our forefathers were and what they have taught us and what they have left behind.
To preserve heritage houses makes our connection with the past more real because, as we have always said, what we are today is what our past has made of us. And if we learn from them certain values that we can continue, especially in the preservation of historical and heritage sites, it gives the people a sense of his history, that they belong to a certain culture and a certain history that they can continue on developing.
There is no other city like this, like Silay. It really, when you enter, it's so tauhay ba? It's so different. There are homes that have been there for how many, and then you can almost see, you can almost hear the past. Here, it's really life. It's really life. You can feel the life. You can feel the people before you, your ancestors, which we should be proud of.
Well, peoples of the world are identified with their arts, and our heritage houses are among the biggest we have. That's how important it is. This is where we can be judged also as a people.
We have to maintain the house because we value the old house as it's like a treasure for us because of the old people who had constructed this and stayed there before. This house is preserved for all the generation. Those who have passed away, their children can, when they come to visit us, they visit or spend summer vacation here, they stay in the big house. They call this the big house. We used to call it the big house. So everybody comes and go. But we used to gather every Sunday. We are together here for lunch so that we'll have intimacy with each other. We want to maintain the closeness of everybody. So they maintain a big house. The recollection is there. They can recall back what happened in this big house.
We want to preserve the houses, especially this one was built by my grand-uncle. He was the godfather of my mother. But my husband was really the one who was interested in fixing old houses to honor our grandparents and the families, and later on can pass it on to the children to know their history. Part of the history of our family, that they were able to build this kind of old houses here in Silay. My children, I'm trying to get them involved also, so that later on they will not sell it, and they will still preserve it, and also my grandchildren, because this is our heritage, this is our history, so we have to be proud of it.
I have a lot of fond memories. I grew up here. I played here in this living room. I had my friends over. So we had a lot of family reunions, family lunches, dinners. My mother cooks very well, so we always had food in the house. Being exposed to this group in Silay, the Silay Heritage Group, I realized the importance of preserving the old houses. And in fact, my daughter decided to return the old house to its old architecture. We would be happy if others could enjoy the house. We had guests from abroad who stayed here whenever they come to the Philippines. So they enjoy the house, they like the ambience, they like the peace and quiet. We can be proud of the houses of Silay, unlike in other places with old houses. The houses here, the old houses here have different architecture. It's not just a bahay na bato. We have, like this house, it's Art Deco, there are American-inspired houses, Spanish-inspired houses, so it's not boring.
The ancestral home of our grandfather Victor Gaston was built as one of those beautiful homes which would give an idea that we live both in a house, and yet it seems that we are also communing with nature. And precisely, it does make an impression because it is not only the biggest house, but it's also housed many of what we might call the artists of our family. Conchita Gaston, of course, foremost, and of course, Ita Ortiz Roy, one of the great pianists that we have. And the whole family of the Ortiz were musicians. That house has, for so many years, rung with beautiful music. My fond memories of all those families is that they were really steeped in advancing a certain lifestyle that is based on our cultural history. It's not simply music, it's not simply performing arts, it's the joy of performing things for others.
We have an ordinance here in Silay which encourages owners of heritage home to fix it and everything, and the government, our city government will be helping them. And also some investors who wants to invest and preserve our heritage homes will be given also a lot of incentives for their initiative.
The Heritage Ordinance encourages ancestral house owners to preserve and even restore their houses, and we give them incentives. The ordinance also protects the houses from demolition in accordance with our national laws. If there's new businesses that's going to be established within the heritage zone, we encourage our investors and our enterprising locals to practice adaptive reuse. It is very evident in many businesses in town. So we also try to convince the business owners, if they're putting up a new building within the heritage zone, the architecture should follow the architecture of the times, the architecture of other heritage houses, so that the Silay's old world charm, its Silay's unique character can be preserved?
Well, it's very hard to preserve a heritage home. You know, there's progress, there are pressure in the family to sell the lot and the house and everything. But we have done it and we're proud of it. And, and a lot of people can see it and enjoy what our past has been.
The house was built in the Spanish period. Around the 1920s, my great-grandfather decided to open his own bake shop. And in fact, this bake shop is the longest bakery in the province of Negros Occidental. Food has become a culture here in Silay. So until now, we still continue the legacy which my great-grandfather has started around 90 years ago. The past is already our heritage. It is our pride. In the business-wise, it's also one selling point of our bakery to showcase our tourists what is food all about since the 1920s. So until now, you get to see the products which were sold way back, and of course the building. There's a big challenge for us to restore the structure, not just because it has a sentimental value, but of course this building is part of the history and the heritage of the city of Silay. It is so rewarding to see while other buildings are already gone, our building is still here. You can still feel the past.
If you value your ancestors, you value your family, and it was an important part of them before, and you see it being left alone there and, you know, rotting, it gets dilapidated. It's so sad to see it turn into something like that. Sayang. Sayang to see it deteriorate. You know? So, it really, I think, is a must. Ever since it transferred to us, it was really our call to make it better, to preserve, well, to restore, to try to restore it to what it was before. It's a part of Silay. Silay is known for this. And if you own an ancestral house and kaya mo to, to fix it up, I think you should.
I'm so happy that they're doing it on their own. Best that the owners do it by themselves because they have more love for their houses, old houses, and they can be more efficient in doing it. I'd like to thank all organizations that has helped us in one way or another. We really appreciate all your help, and we look forward to be your partners in the near future.
Because what is important is to preserve some of our past, to know, to let the students know that how it was before and what the values were before.
Not every city or municipality is as blessed as we are, but those who do have something to preserve, I would say it's good for them to learn that they have to keep what they already have and not go and destroy them randomly in the name of progress, because that's gone forever. Once you destroy it, it's finished and it will never come back.
If you don't have that heritage of your ancestors, where you came from, what they did here, you really don't have much. So the life, that's why life here in Silay, the family is very still close, and family is very important. And if you lose that heritage, you're gonna lose the family.
The essence of these houses, which speaks of warm relationship among the family members, and these houses, which I would not say is represent only buildings, but the home where the family really live and stays together with love and respect for one another.